What's up, everybody? This your girl, CC, with Where It Begins Magazine. And I got a special guest on the line with me today. I'm going to let him introduce himself for who he is, what he does, and where he's from.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stevie Boi. I'm a fashion designer. I'm 32 years old, and I live in Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm happy to be here.
Well, thanks for being on today. And yes, I'm from the DMV area. So give me 3 things you love about the DMV.
Oh, wow. There's so many, only 3. I love the Inner Harbor. I love Baltimore City itself. But I love the cuisine here, and which is another reason why I got inspired to, get into cooking, etc. And I just love the culture. The culture of Baltimore is rich. It's very, very strong, from Baltimore club music to, like I said, the food and stuff like that. So that's 3, but like I got so many.
I bet I know from being there. But who or what motivated you to be a fashion designer?
Wow. So I always had the spirit of building. When I was younger, living in Germany, I used to play with Legos just like a lot of kids did. But then one day I fell in love with the Addams Family, and Morticia is my favorite character. My mom had some black curtains, and you know what happened? I cut it up and tried to make my mom a dress while she was at work. That didn't work out well. So then I went to the building, and I decided that when I grow up, I'm going to be an architect. And I realized that involves a lot of math. Even though I'm really good with math, I don't want to be using my brain like that. So I just want to use my hands to create. So yeah, that's how I got into fashion at a young age. And then the sunglasses happened in 2009 when I started SB Shades. I wore them to a club. A rapper that was performing took them off. It ended up on the cover of Baltimore Sun and City Paper. It was linked to me. And my name is Stevie Boi, but .com was always how I would tell people my name. I got 10,000 sales in just a week from the support of the city of Baltimore.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's fashion designer. And then the clothing started to happen when it became more serious. And I had to teach myself how to sew all over again.
That's awesome, and congratulations. People can't sell that much in a week. So that was a good deal right there.
Yeah, I had no choice but to become a fashion designer. I had no choice. It wasn't like, oh, well, let me just refund all these people. I was like, no, this is a challenge and a blessing. So I stopped sales on my website, and I fulfilled those 10,000 orders. I got on the phone with people in China, people with all different types of countries. And I learned very quick how to run a business with no business experience in 1 week. And it's now been 13.
Wow. But how do you keep up with the trends? How do you keep up with the fashion nowadays?
So, and this is not to sound cocky or be braggadocious, if that's the way to say it. I never really caught up with the trends. I never read fashion magazines, even though I've been in over 500 plus of them. I've never flipped through a page and was like, oh, I want to do something like this. I just created it. So everybody, and I was even solidified with this name, but they call me the rock star designer because I just went on my own whim and just did what I wanted to do and still do what I want to do. And I still do not go through fashion magazines. I have not one subscription to one. I read more like Business Enterprise. I'm one of those people. I read Martha Stewart. But yeah, like I just created the trends. And keep in mind, the clientele that I worked with, I literally was creating the shape of the world with these artists, these A-list artists. So whatever I made in my 2-bedroom apartment in Baltimore City downtown literally ended up on the cover of magazines, album covers, billboards left and right, music videos, movies, and then my name just spread like wildfire. And so I'm the trend creator. But Michael Antonio, the guy that helped. Sorry, I'm being long-winded, but Michael Antonio, the guy that helped create the image of Stevie Boi, always told me that I was really good at repurposing old things. So if you want to talk about trends, pretty much I brought back like older style things that people used to laugh at, and I made it fashion, darling.
That's awesome. That is. But what are your 3 best sellers?
Oh wow, okay, that's easy. All my friends tell you. So it's the SB Shines, okay, and then SB Aztecs, And then I used to do something called Orbits, in which I made for Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey and a couple other celebrities. And it was just metal glasses that Amber Rose wore them to from a pop-up photo shoot me and her did at our hotel. It's literally metal glasses that have no brim on it, no nothing. It's just metal, and you just pop it on your face, and it literally adjusts to anybody's face, no matter how big it is, how small it is. You just bend it. And I don't make those because I was trying to avoid lawsuits because they were dangerous to wear. They're metal. They're actual real metal.
Wow, I wouldn't even think to make anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that makes you really, really stand up. But who are some of your models? Who do you look up to or inspire you in the fashion world?
Models or people like designers just in general?
Yes, just in general.
I love Naomi Campbell. Rest in peace, Andre Leon Talley, Dapper Dan, all of the Black people that paved the way for me to obviously have the space that I have in the fashion industry. When it comes to designers, Alexander McQueen, hands down, probably my favorite designer of all time. And then of course I love like the Prada and then Chanel, but I like the older school stuff because that's when I started to take sewing seriously, because I would look at the patterns and stuff. And then I realized I can't do patterns. And I know it's not good to say you can't do it, but I literally end up creating a business behind that. So I do something that's very complicated in the fashion world called blocking. It is a very difficult thing to do. So I'm looking at you right now. I can literally make you a dress, and I'm not exaggerating, in less than 5 minutes. I don't have to do any measurements for anybody.
Oh.
Because I see you. Thank God for the eyes. I see you. And speaking of eyes, let me play around with some stuff while we're talking. I see you. So I just be like, okay, this is her shape. All I got to do is pull this in around her stomach, lift this up. Like I learned how to do built-in like bras and all types of stuff. I even like for the drag queens, like I even like learned how to do built-in butt pads so they didn't have to put the butt pads on. I already had it like in there. I don't know how. It just, God gave me a talent. I just didn't expect to actually be doing this, because this is not what I was doing when I was doing it too. I was working for the military, so.
Well, at least you're following your passion and following what he's sending you to do so, because you're doing a great job. Like I said, looking at your Instagram, your page and stuff, I feel like, ooh, that is something different than what anybody else is doing. So you're very talented.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
But that goes to my next question. What can we look forward to for 2022? What are some of your goals and accomplishments you want to have?
Wow. Well, during COVID, I wrote 3 more books. I already have 2 books out right now. The first book is Shade Built My Empire. And then the second one is Stevie Boi Eats International Soul. So I am going to possibly be releasing at least 1 or 2 or 3 of the books this year, going into next year. I have to go to Panama this month to host the LGBT Music Festival that I do every single year. I'm currently on a Stevie Boi Eats tour, and which is me doing fashion shows while I'm cooking for the audience. This isn't a runway show. This is literally like being in a mansion or like an Airbnb or on a beach or something like that. We change the setting. We don't want to, we want to refresh it every time. But then that also, we created a spinoff. We got 2. We got Stevie Boi Eats Picnic, in which obviously it's in the title, and then Stevie Boi Eats Movie Nights. So, I mean, I'm doing so much more. There's just so much. I have a cartoon that I've been working on for years in Japan that is finally going to see the light of day in 2023. Damn COVID, I tell you, it just stopped things, but it didn't stop me. I'm still here. And there's a lot more. I mean, there's a lot more, but, oh, and of course, how can I forget the most important thing? I'm now a private chef. Next week, I'm going to be helping someone cook for 70,000 people at the Broccoli Festival in DC. Yeah, I'm crazy. I keep taking these big jobs.
Wow, congratulations.
How can I forget?
But I went into my next question though, because I was going to ask you about chef. Like, how did you get into the cooking world?
So when I started off as a fashion designer and I traveled with all these clients of mine, there wasn't so much of a big budget. So we would get like, this is before Airbnb. So we would stay at like these nice hotels that had kitchenettes. So like some of them could not leave the hotel because, paparazzi, stuff like that. So I was like, hey, yo, ain't nobody know who I am. Let me go down to the bodega. And, I would get ingredients, come back up and cook. And that was like 13 years ago. Fast forward when COVID happened, I didn't think that my fashion business was going to do well. No one's focused on fashion. That's a lie. It was some PPP loans, I'm telling you, because people were spending all that money. However, I'm seeing how are we in a pandemic and y'all all of a sudden now got money? How does that work? But yeah, my fashion business is doing absolutely fine. But then I'm bored because I was in Seattle at the time at my sister's house. I went out there for 3 days, ended up staying a year and a half. How does that work too? So I just start cooking a lot and taking pictures of it. And then that's when I created the Stevie Boi Eats book. And I said, when I move back to Maryland, I'm going to take this on the road with this book and I'm going to do live cooking. But that didn't work out either because COVID's still happening. And so I just decided, okay, what's done in the dark comes to light. So I got on a certain platform and I was able to be hired as a private chef. And I practiced so much, going to so many different people's houses, including my neighbors, different soldiers that I worked with in the past. And now it's a legitimate career to the point where I have Michelin chefs reaching out to me saying you're doing a good job. I'm like, how do you know who I am? I can understand if you know who Stevie Boi is, the designer, but not the chef. I just put my feet in the water, my toe, my whole foot ain't even in there yet. Okay. But I'm doing very well because I have all these reoccurring customers. So I guess I can cook. Me being Southern and being from Georgia and being Gullah Geechee also helps. It's not like I taught myself how to cook. I've paid attention to my grandmas.
I got you. But what is your favorite dish? What is one of your favorite dishes you love to cook or your favorite dessert?
When I get to meet you, I'm gonna make this for you. Are you allergic to nuts?
No, I'm not allergic to nuts.
Okay. No dairy?
No.
So
but I don't like almonds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't put almonds in this dish. So my favorite thing to make is pesto pasta with mozzarella cheese and heirloom tomatoes. And, you can choose your choice of protein. Usually people ask me to make it with shrimp, but I prefer to use shredded chicken. And I quick that with linguine noodles or regular spaghetti noodles. And that's pretty much that. I love pesto anything. Pesto is my favorite thing. I love the fact that it has so much olive oil in it. And I just like the fact that it's green, so it brightens up the plate,
So as a fashion designer, who would be somebody you would love to make over or do some designs for?
Let's see. Who? I'm advertising. I'm thinking, I've worked with so many people to the point where it's not that I don't want to work with anyone anymore. It's just the level of inspiration trying to work with different celebrities has kind of been draining. So the average person, I like designing for the average woman, and I'm serious about it. I know that's so redundant. People have said that later in their career, but it gets to a certain point, you don't want to deal with those personalities. I want to deal with an actual customer that actually came to me that actually wants to work with Stevie, not a celebrity that's doing it because their publicist told him or her, he's the hot dude, go to him. He got the sunglasses, he got this,
Gotcha. Just talking to you and looking at everything that you got on and how you do things, you remind me of a younger Prince. Do you get that a lot?
I've been getting that since I was a little boy. To the point I had to look at my daddy. 1 + 1 does equal 2, right? And then I had to look at my mama while we were pick up something ain't working. I look more like you. Nah, but I am my father's son, trust me. I am literally a country boy, but with city ways and city taste.
But do you ever look at him as more, like a model and kind of do stuff like how Prince does in his ways and stuff?
Mm-hmm. And that's another part I forgot to add. Obviously I modeled earlier in my career, which also helped me bring the sunglasses even more to fruition, because I would bring my sunglasses on set and I would be like, I wouldn't wear these sunglasses in the shoot. They're like, that's product placement. I'm like, I'm product placement. Remember, I'm a model. Oh, I'm always been quirky. And they would never say no. They're like, you know what? You're right. Plus, you're not getting paid. So go ahead and wear your silly sunglasses. Next thing you know, the editors at the magazine chose the pictures with the sunglasses. I just happen to be wearing them. Business 101.
Well, we need that business 101 class. When is that coming out?
Well, that's what Shade Built My Empire, because it tells you how I started my company from literally just $20, and sold over how many, like either 100,000 units. Like I said, the first week was 10,000, and then I put my website on hold because I was overwhelmed. But then when I got with the manufacturer, I was able to pick up sales, and then I was able to graduate from making homemade sunglasses to literally luxury and getting it stores. And that's when it changed my life. So, yeah.
So behind the scenes, what's some of your challenges or hurdles you had to go through?
Oh gosh, this is another redundant thing. Racism, lots of it. I mean, we're talking about the New York City fashion industry, and you got this young Black kid, like literally coming out of nowhere with sunglasses on every celebrity you could imagine, and the editor of Vogue magazine, Vogue Italia. And the space that I was in, I don't really talk about this that much, but I don't mind sharing it because I've been quiet for so long. I didn't even put it in my book. But the space that I was in, I'm here in front row at New York Fashion Week. Big deal. Okay. Also, I'm leaving there, I'm getting stares, this and the third. I'm leaving, and then I look up in Times Square, and there's my sunglasses on the cover of Vogue Italia. That also changed my life. And then all of a sudden, the editor of Vogue, which is an Italian white woman, of course, took me under her wing, and she was like, you don't have to work anymore. Just send me product. And she literally just started putting my stuff in every issue, like every issue. And when I would go speak at these functions, when I started getting picked up by more of like the whiter audience, et cetera, because I did a lot of stuff, obviously, within the Black crowd, like, because I wasn't accepted, over there, in the white audience, and which is very honest. Up until the Vogue start happening, and they had no choice to say no. They couldn't say no to me, because if you say no to me, it's going to get back to the editor of Vogue magazine, and you're going to lose your job. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but that's how the fashion industry work. And like, I was standing in line like a normal person. I'm not doing a whole, I'm VIP. I mean, whatever, makeup on, looking good, this and the third, standing in line. As soon as I got to the front of the line, oh, your name's not on here. But then there'll be the smart person. There's always a sister somewhere. She's like, that's Stevie Boi. What are you talking about? His name is right there. So like, I started to experience that like direct in my face. Like me going like this with my phone, showing proof, that I'm here. I'm, literally front row. My name is even on my seat. I know it because my friend's in there. And then I'm catching myself realizing, don't let anger build up, because you're a tall Black man. If the police is called, no one's going to listen to you. So I had to train myself to just be like this and wait for them to look like Boo Boo the Fool. And by the way, that person I'm talking about literally is like banned from anything fashion, because she's done this to a lot. Yeah, she's done this to a lot of Black designers and people in the entertainment industry. Karma's real.
And that's facts. I agree with that. But going to the next question then, what's the best piece of advice you ever received?
I received so much advice, but the advice that I give is what I've learned from my mom, and it's just save your money. Oh. And don't be paying people phone bills and rent just because you got that little coin. You better save that for when you buy this house. I wasn't thinking that 15 and 20. It wasn't until I turned 27 I started getting my credit together and saving money correctly. And now I'm doing fine. But the point is that I would Man, you know how many houses and cars I probably could have if I invested and focused on credit and
Mhm.
mm-mm-mm. I'm not went through a life lesson, but the thing is that now I don't play. I don't be, you're gonna have to pay your own rent, boo-boo.
But that's the way to be, because once everybody sees something and think you have this and this, that's what everybody expect you to do because you have it.
Yeah, and
So
it also shows you who quote unquote your friends are. Luckily, none of my friends asked me for any money. My real friends we're all actually still friends to this day. Like I go to their house, I sleep on the couch. I'm like, girl, look, I don't drink too much down at the bar at the Inner Harbor. Can I catch a car over there and stay? She'd be like, bitch, yes, you know that. Like I even have keys to my friends' houses. Like it's that deep of a relationship. Like we're family. And we're all in it here too, all of us.
got you, got you, got you.
Shout
But
out to Baltimore.
besides that,
I'm saying the culture in Baltimore is real.
yeah, yeah. But what is one of your most memorable moments you had so far in this career? Like one moment that just really stands out to you that you're just passionate about?
There's really a lot. But I think, I am from Georgia, but I grew up in Germany. I lived in so many countries, but Germany is my favorite place. When I got the call from Europa Amusement Park to host Halloween nights, in which is like their American or their version, of like our American thing that we have here in America at the amusement parks. But they didn't tell me that it was going to be 50,000 plus people there. So I'm serious. And yeah, it's my fault. I should have looked it up. When I tell you, I had to go back and to learn how to speak Deutsch, and like, that was tough. But I'm standing there and I'm just staring at literally 50,000 people on a stage by myself. Like I felt like Dave Chappelle or something, or like a comedian, because I'm a jokester, so I'm always trying to make people laugh. Then I'm forgetting we're in Germany. I got to be careful what I say because I don't want my joke to land incorrectly. No script, no nothing, just a teleprompter that tells me every once in a while what to say. So I'm checking on the people while the music's playing in the background, this, that, and the third. And they're cheering for me and all types of stuff. And then when I finished, I decided, because I'm a normal person, I decided, and which was a dumb idea, when that concert portion was done, I decided to walk through the amusement park with my homies, because I brought all my homies to Germany. I'm one of those. Brought all my girls with me, literally. And I kept getting stopped by children. And I'm like, oh God, I'm influencing a young generation. Oh no.
Oh wow.
And that happens to me a lot, by the way. Last thing I just want to say this, because I know you got another question. I'm outside my show, one of my shows, and this girl comes up to me and she's like, I loved you since I was 7. When I tell you I almost ran into ongoing traffic, I was like, how old am I? I'm only 32. What are you talking about? I don't know if I should be happy. No, I'm very happy. That's what I'm saying. A lot of kids actually follow me, and that's why I don't do, like, I watch what I say. I don't post, nasty pictures, and I don't tolerate none of that, because people's kids literally follow me, like children. And it's weird to me because I would think I would scare them the way I dress and I do my makeup.
I
don't know.
No, they love that. I think the thing with the world is now is it's not even, for example, another interview I had, they interview all the celebrities or whatever and post it, but their views get more views more on them doing their chickens than it do interviewing the celebrity, because people like different. If it's something different, like if a cat is doing something crazy, that gets more attention nowadays.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and I wasn't raised that way, so I just can't. I don't move like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see I really believe in karma, and I look at these kids nowadays, and adults, by the way. That's also the sad part. The kids, I can give a pass, but these adults, though, like, you 40 something years old, you're doing this on the internet. You think this is really cute, and you got kids.
Facts.
Like, I can't. Like, I don't understand it. However, that's your life, that's your business. And I don't go searching for these videos. I don't like and this cheesy, but like I really don't like violence. This, that, and the third. Again, my parents are military. I've seen things within the military. So like the violence and I've lived in Baltimore for a while. So like I've seen things. And I'm just like, yo, but you doing it on camera. You holding up a phone like this, literally going to fight somebody. It's weird to me. Like you really could like be getting an education. You could be doing something, donating your clothes to, you know, the Salvation Army. You could just find something to do, pick your toes.
Right. But the world we live in loves drama and love violence for some apparent reason. But I want to know, you just, you know, doing all your glasses, which one is your favorite? Just which one is your favorite? I know you have so many, and I'm pretty sure all of them is your babies in a certain way, but which one, like, if you just had to pick one every day, which one would you pick?
It was the SB Aztecs. Unfortunately, I'm sold out. The only person that I can get them from is are my friends or my mom. She has a lot of them, but I'm not gonna do that because it's their prized possession or whatever. But I don't even have a pair anymore because every time I wear them when I'm going to the airport, people really come up to you. I know this sounds unsanitary, but they buy them off my face.
Oh wow.
So now people bought the glasses and I don't got it. And why does my best friend have all of my first pairs of sunglasses that I created? The nerve. Just come to the house and just like, he was like, I like this. And I just be like,
well, at least they true supporters.
Yeah, and they all know every single name of every product I created. It's weird because they'll be like, oh, the SB Giants, like, and I'm like, I made those 9 years ago. She'd be like, I want them. I'm like, how do you remember the names that I come up with? Because I just come up with names. I just look at them like, yeah, Giants, you know, Cats, you know, stuff like that.
Okay, but we do a fun fact game at the end. But before I go into my fun fact game,
I'm having a good time.
good.
Focus my energy. Thank you.
Yeah. But what is one message you would like to tell your fans and the audience right now?
Cheesy, please monitor your energy. I'm telling you, if you take care of that energy and you keep it positive, even during hard times. I had a moment today, you know that. But that's why I said thank you, because you just changed the energy of my day. Now, when we get done with this, I'm gonna get on the computer and start making some business moves, in which I was not planning to do. But just keep that energy very positive as much as you can. It's very hard, but that you have to, because I'm telling you, it will change your day, inspire you, and probably open up more doors for you than not. So, and not probably, it will.
Well, that's some advice I love, and thank you for that. And I'm glad I could change your energy for today. That made me feel good. Hey.
Yeah. Shando.
Well, let's go into our fun fact question. Usually my co-hosts be on here and he does one question and I do one question, but since he's not here, I'm gonna do two questions. So the fun fact question is, I love to ask this to everybody because it's always a different answer and I love to see what people say. But if you can trade places with one person for one day, who would it be and why did you choose that person? Just for one day, 24 hours.
Well, this is no longer living, but it will be Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay, and why would you choose him?
I really care about Black history, and I want to know for like that one day, only one day, and not the bad day, a good day, but like I want to know what it was like to have a conversation with another person that I love so much, Malcolm X. And how did they interact? How did Coretta Scott, how did they all interact? Like, what was it like being in that house when we had those good Southern Black gatherings with the collard greens? And I want to know what they were talking about. I really do. And then I want to know what it was like to march for equality and et cetera. And I want to just know what it feels like to be in that moment.
Okay.
Or it will be Malcolm X for a different reason.
I got you, and that's funny because I read his book for February for Black History Month, and I read it years ago, but I went back and picked him for my Black History Month because I love to read books. And it was so deep, and it just I had to take a breather and then come back to it. And I was like, "Ooh, I got through that book within a day." I'm trying to tell you.
May I show you something really quick? I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, folks tell. Okay, yeah, text it to me.
I'm a huge horror movie fan. I grew up on horror movies. I'm not a big cartoon person, even as a kid. I know it sounds weird. It's just also keep in mind, I lived in Germany, so the way I was raised was a little bit different when it came to the content that I paid attention to and watched. So when I saw this on Amazon, where you can also get my book, I was like, "Oh, this is probably interesting." When I tell you, like whenever my mom braids my hair or my sister braid my hair or whoever braids my hair, I always pull this book out and it spooks everybody. Like, "Steven, why are you reading this?" I'm like, look, if you can watch Jason, kill these girls that running in heels for whatever reason that went camping, you can get something a little bit more interesting that is actually based off of my specific culture, which is Gullah Geechee. So that's another reason why I got it.
Gotcha.
Okay, I really share these things. Oh my God.
Look what I bring up. Okay, so my next question, because we do my last fun fact question is, if you could only keep 3 apps on your phone, which 3 apps would you keep? And why did you choose those 3? Look, he got the look.
No, I really had 2. Why 3?
Because you only get 3. If you only had 3, because there's so many out there that we use, and there's so much out there. What would be just the 3 if you only had 3 to use on your phone? No other apps.
Okay, so I can't say the first name of the first app because they're not paying us for that. But it is where I get my jobs, my private chef jobs.
Okay.
The other one, I'm sorry, I got to Instagram. And then the third one will be YouTube. Now, what you didn't say, that you can't delete the camera. So we got the camera, we got the phone. I get that too, and my contacts.
Okay. Well, those not bad ones. At least you could keep your business going and people can still watch you with those apps there. Right. So that's good. That's good. But before we get off, is there anything else you want to share?
I want to share that you have been so gracious. And again, I want to thank you for, changing my energy around because I feel so much better. So I'm going to get a lot of work done today. I don't know what work because I didn't have anything planned, but I'm going to make something up as I always do. And I'm just going to probably create some more product. I have about 100 sunglasses just in this closet alone. So many sunglasses that I don't have any clothes in it.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Just in these hats that I designed. Yeah.
But also shout out all your social medias where they can follow you and where they can get your book.
Absolutely. So you can, what I like to tell people is just go to stevieboi.com and all the links are there, sitting there waiting for you to click them and follow them. That is stevieboi.com because I'm international. So yes, stevieboi.com.
Okay. And and they can get your book from Amazon and everything. It's everywhere, right?
Yes, Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, Target, everywhere.
Okay. And before we get off, tell them about the event coming here in Atlanta, since I'm in the Atlanta area.
Oh, so May 22nd, I will be coming to Atlanta. Oh God, you put me on the spot with that. Oh, that's sad. I create my own shows and forget where they at. It's at a place called Cultured and Cultured South. And it's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. I'm debating if I'm going to do a fashion show, but honestly, I really want people to focus more aside from, I've been doing the fashion thing for a very long, over a decade plus. I want people to now get to know Stevie Boi as a chef. So I'm going to be cooking for y'all. I am actually going to be doing something I didn't think I would, but all 9 of the girls on my team, all my bosses suggested that we try to do vegan. So I'm going to go vegan.
Okay, all right. Well, when you make it down here, I'm gonna try to come out and support that event and make sure I share that on my page and try to get some friends to come out with me.
I would love that. Thank you so much, for real.
No problem, no problem. Well, thanks for coming on with me today. It's been a pleasure to get to know your journey. Thanks for interviewing with me, and thanks for sharing some of your journey. Like I said, it's been a pleasure. You gain a fan here with me. I love what you're doing. Continue your grind, and I wish you nothing but success and happiness for 2022 and
Amen.
more.
Same to you.
All right, well, you have a blessed day and be safe out there.
You too.
All righty.
Bye.